Hey everybody, welcome, welcome to Hidden Horror. Thank you for spending this time with me. I appreciate that. Let's get started. Hey everybody, welcome to Hidden Horror. I'm here tonight to just bring you some closure to the Deobra Redden case. This is a case where he, on video, while in court, attacked physically a Las Vegas judge when she was getting ready to give him his sentencing. He pleads guilty. Now, why do people plead guilty at the eve or at the start of a trial? Why do they do that? Did they come to a plea agreement at the last minute? Did they have an offer on the table? I think so. I think he could not dispute the facts. It was on video. There were multiple witnesses, several people involved. And guess what? They said that even though he could have had some issues, mental issues, he was capable to be tried. They were not going to consider any mental health issues. So for him, it was a lose lose. If he goes and he fights this, and of course, the video has been seen all over the world, so many views, he's going to be convicted. And he doesn't want to go to jail, to prison for life. So he does a plea deal, a plea agreement at the start of the trial. I think they knew it was coming. I think the week of that trial, they were working behind the scenes to do that plea, but he wasn't for the plea. But I think when the judge testified, her testimony coupled with the law clerk's testimony, I think that was going to send him to prison for life. And he thought about it, and maybe his defense team talked to him, and maybe even his family. And they talked to him and got him to agree to a plea deal. So in the future, we will have a sentencing. But let me share the information with you. That's just my opinion, my thoughts. The article is from reviewjournal.com. It's titled Man Who Attacked Las Vegas Judge Pleads Guilty, Mentally Ill. The article is dated September 5th, 2024. It's by Caitlin Newberg from the Las Vegas Review Journal. Okay. Deobra Redden pleaded guilty but mentally ill in the middle of his attempted murder trial on Thursday, the same day he heard testimony from the judge he was seen attacking in a viral video. Attorneys announced the plea on Thursday afternoon, ending the trial after prosecutors spent more than 2 hours questioning District Judge Mary Kay Holthus and her law clerk, Michael Lasso, about the attack. Judge Holthus is very pleased and thanks the jury for their service, as do we. Chief Deputy District Attorney John Giordani said after the jurors were dismissed on Thursday. Redding's defense attorney, Carl Arnold, told the Review Journal that there were discussions about a potential plea deal throughout the trial. They saw it was going bad. They saw the judge got up there. She was very sympathetic. She probably cried. She probably was distraught. She probably saw her life flash before her eyes from the attack. And that plays into a jury. And the viral video, I mean, how many times did I play it on here? What, 2 or 3 times? Um, it's made its rounds, probably millions of views by now. So I think he really had backed himself in the corner. He tried to pull um, some kind of defense together, saying, hey, it was my mental issues. I was off my meds, et cetera, et cetera. And his family came out. They spoke on his behalf. I did a video about his foster mother and his sister kind of coming forward, making some statements. But they were not going to let this go. You cannot attack law enforcement administrators, judges. Like, um, you're barking down the wrong tree when you do that. So they were going to stretch him out really hard for what he did. So I think they advised him, and he wisely took the plea deal because he probably doesn't want to go to prison for life, right? So let's continue. It's the thing that we wanted to do from the very beginning, Arnold said Thursday evening. Arnold previously said his client would be pleading not guilty. That's what I remember. I remember him saying not guilty for reason of insanity, but they had him see some people, and they didn't feel that he was insane. And that's the thing. You can have mental issues, but were you in your right mind? Did you know what you were doing? Watch the video. Watch his entire video, his conversation. He was intelligent. He was well spoken. It was all up into bam. The trigger was, you're going to get a new taste of medicine. We're not going to give you these good diversion programs and let you go up here and you don't complete, or you don't do what you're supposed to do, and you're back here in front of me again and again. No, you're going to jail. That's what triggered it. It had nothing to do with his mental abilities in that moment. But anyway, Arnold previously said his client would be pleading not guilty by reason of insanity, but he said earlier in the week that he would no longer be using that defense because of its high burden of proof. He argued during opening statements that his client was not trying to kill Hostess when he attacked her during a sentencing hearing in January, launching himself across the courtroom and over the judge's bench. So let's just let's pause it. If somebody runs up to you, boom, 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 punches you in the head, knocks you down, drags you, jumps on top of you, I feel like I'm being attacked. I feel like I'm violently being attacked. I'm getting injured. I'm getting punched, kicked, all of that. It took so many people in the courtroom to pull him off. I mean, I would say 3 to 4 men. I watched the whole video. Like, they have clips of it, like 40 minutes, 40 seconds, 1 minute. No, that video, it leads up to it, then the attack, and then it's a struggle. They're having to jump on him like it was not easy. He injured that judge. And if he didn't, I would be honest and say, you know what? First degree murder, attempted murder. No, he attacked her violently. I don't want to be pushed down. I don't want to be forced thrown down, and then somebody jumps on top of me, a man, and starts to beat me, punch me in my head. No, I don't know about kill, but he definitely assaulted that judge. But anyway, Redding's attorney also argued during opening statements that his client, who was diagnosed with schizophrenia, was not taking his medication at the time of the attack. Attorney spoke in private during a lengthy break after Lasso's testimony on Thursday afternoon. When they returned and Redding confirmed he wanted to plead guilty, the judge asked him if he was admitting to attempted murder. Did you do that, sir? District Judge Susan Johnson asked after describing the charge. Yes, Redding said, looking down. The judge also found that Redding was fully competent and capable of entering an informed plea. As the hostess testified on Thursday afternoon, she said multiple times that she believed the officials and attorneys who came to her aid saved her life as Redding attacked her. When Lasso took the stand, that's her law clerk that was sitting to her left, and how he had to jump up and start pounding Deobra, punching him and everything, trying to pull him off of her. Well, let me continue. When Lasso took the stand, he gave an animated description of the attack, recalling how he saw Redding grab Hostess' hair and latch on to her. Especially when I saw her hit the back of her skull on that towel, I absolutely thought he's going to kill her, Lasso said. And that stuff we can't see, right? Because of the way her desk was. She had fallen and kind of crawled under the desk, and he was on top of her, punching, beating her, hitting her, pulling her hair. So we didn't see that part. We just saw when she kind of emerged and she just looked disheveled and beaten up. Okay. Hostess testified Thursday that she felt defenseless when Reddy launched himself across the courtroom and hit her. I'm not going to get out of here, Hostess recalled thinking during the attack. Before the trial began on Tuesday, Redding pleaded guilty to 6 additional charges, but maintained he was not guilty of attempted murder against a victim 60 or older. On Thursday, he withdrew the pleas and entered a guilty but mentally ill plea to each of the counts. As to the question of the defendant's intent, there's no one who knows better than him, Giordani said in a written statement, and he admitted hours after the attack to 3 separate correctional staff that he tried and wanted to kill Judge Hostess. I actually read that, and I guess he was kind of like bolstering it that he tried to kill her. I mean, that does not help your case, your defense. Um, he put himself in this position. That's all I could say, unfortunately. The other charges he pleaded guilty to are battery on a protected person age 60 or older, resulting in substantial bodily harm, intimidating a public officer, battery on an officer resulting in substantial bodily harm, willful or one time disregard for the safety of persons or property resulting in substantial bodily harm, battery by a prisoner, an unlawful act related to bodily fluid. So I think that's referring to some of his other issues that he had. Allegedly, he spit on an officer. Allegedly, he was giving them a hard time and they had to use some force. And I believe one of the officers also got injured in that as well. Okay, a guilty but mentally ill plea can affect where a defendant is housed in prison and what mental health treatment they receive. Hostess has only previously spoken publicly about the attack in grand jury testimony. She spoke quietly as she testified Thursday, at times gesturing to her head or the area behind the judge's bench where she was attacked in her own courtroom. She briefly became emotional, wiping at her eyes. I just remember saying, "Help, help, somebody get him off," Hostess testified. In my head, I was completely defenseless. He was so determined and so violent, and so it was scary. I didn't think I would get out of it. Hostess said that when Reddy launched himself at her, she was thrown against a marble wall behind the judge's bench. She said she was hit on the head, but she testified under cross examination that she does not remember how many times she was struck. And she does not remember if Reddy put his hands on her throat because it happened so fast, right? She probably just can't recall everything because it really was like just seconds, right? The attack was just seconds. Redding was accused of pulling Hostess' hair, hitting her on the head, and putting his hands around her neck, according to an indictment. Arnold disputed in opening statements that Redding put his hands on her throat. Well, bashing her head on the floor, I mean, I don't know how you get around that. I don't think you can get around that. The judge said she rolled under her desk and stayed in the fetal position until the attack was over. Lasso testified that Redding and Hostess were inches apart and he couldn't pry Redding off of the judge. Lasso testified that he saw Hostess in a state of shock during the attack because he was right next to the judge. Lasso was the first person to try and pull Redding off of her. He said he tried wrestling with Redding and later tried punching Redding to subdue him. He was not affected. If you watch that video, that law clerk, he was punching him, punching him, punching him, punching him, getting all on him, trying to get on his back. He was not moved. I don't know. Like they said, he has Superman power. I call it a Superman. It was a lot. Lasso also described how Redden began hitting a corrections officer who was trying to intervene. I remember Mr. Redden just going at the corrections officer, just winding back his arm and just landing blows. Lasso said, miming punches from the witness stand, really big blows like boom, boom. Redden was ordered to appear in court for a sentencing hearing on November 7th. So guess what? I'll be back after November 7th to give you the sentencing order, right? What is he going to be sentenced to? How is his plea going to affect everything when he's saying he was mentally ill? What impact does that have on his sentencing? Is it considered? Is it going to be a shorter sentence? And also the housing, right? Where are they going to place him where mental illness can be treated, right? Where there's resources for people that have mental disorders. So let me share with you a video from the judge and her testimony. It's going to be brief. Let me share my screen. Because I want you to hear her words, right? What's happened to her? So let's listen to
now with the Las Vegas judge who was attacked by a defendant earlier this year taking the stand at his trial. The terrifying moment caught on camera, and Stephanie Ramos is here with more. Good morning, Stephanie.
Rebecca, good morning. This morning, the man accused of attacking a Nevada judge in her own courtroom was back in court again. The judge he attacked testifying, saying she was knocked out of her shoes and she didn't think she'd make it out of that room. This morning, 31-year-old Deobra Redden, the man seen in this video leaping over a judicial bench accused of...
Yeah, you can literally see when he grabs her hair, he pulls her down by the hair. He had her hair, and that can mess your neck up. Oh my goodness, everything.
Attacking District Court Judge Mary Kay Holthus in Las Vegas was back in court Thursday. Redden is accused of attacking Holthus while she was sentencing him for attempted battery charges in January. As she was preparing to hand down a sentence, Redden launched toward her, the judge recalling those terrifying moments as she testified against him.
I smashed into the wall. He was on me, and then I was being pulled down. I had closed my eyes. I was trying to protect my face and my head.
Holthus recalling being hit so hard she was knocked out of her shoes.
The level of force he used the entire time was superhuman.
It took 4 men, including Holthus's law clerk, to get Redden off of her.
It was scary. I didn't think I was going to get out of there.
Redden's defense team and family say he was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia. But the day of the attack, the judge says she didn't notice any signs of mental distress. Redden has pleaded guilty to attempted murder, but claims he is mentally ill. He will be sentenced early November. But guys, that video is so hard to watch.
Yeah, it's a frightening video there.
Okay, so I'm sure, everybody has seen the video, so we don't have to go down that road anymore. He pled guilty. I think that was in his best interest to kind of control his fate a little bit more, to get in a facility that would have some mental health resources, maybe a prison that maybe is not as violent as some other prisons, and also maybe not getting a life sentence for the attack, which equates to attempted murder, right? He wants to get out one day. He's young. I think Deobra might be 31 years old. He's young. So we will see. We will see what his sentencing will be in November. And I wonder if his family is going to come out and kind of express more some of those mitigating circumstances. I know in the video that I watched in the past, and I covered it, they had a lot to say about his childhood, how he grew up, not having maybe the support that he needs, the resources, not having his medication, etc. Maybe they will bring all of these issues forward as mitigating circumstances as to why he did what he did. Everybody knows right from wrong. It's wrong to violently attack another person, let alone a judge. So everything's not working there, but it does not negate that it's wrong. And you did it anyway. So you got to be responsible. You got to be held accountable. I think I think he's going to get a lot of time for this because some crimes you have to make an example out of people. Maybe if this was an everyday person and he just attacked them on the street, I think it could be viewed differently, maybe as an assault, but they went for attempted murder to make an example out of this case. Not only did you attack someone that is considered a senior, you attacked a judge. You were on the court grounds. You demonstrated that there was security measures not in place to prevent it. So we're going to make an example out of you. I think he's going to get a lot of time, but he brought it all upon himself. So, it's hard to feel really bad for him. I don't know how much help he can get in there, how many services or resources going to be available to him, but I know he will be able to get some medication. I don't know what the quality of life will be for him, or if he has goals, or if he wants to get a trade or something like that. I don't know. Maybe he will get some extensive time for this charge. Not so much for what he was in the courtroom for being sentenced. I think that was 4 years. I think this will be much longer, but we will see, right? We will see. That's just in like 2 months. So I will be back with an update unless something else happens with the family or something else happens with Deobra Redden. I'll see you in November on this case, okay? Thanks for spending this time with me. I really, really appreciate it. Please like, subscribe, share. Please subscribe to my Facebook. I need 100 subscribers. I'm at like 23 now. I'm watching that number, y'all. I need you guys to subscribe because I have to physically post these videos on Facebook. I don't have to do it with X anymore. I'm back live on X. I'm live on YouTube, but I have to physically post on Facebook. So I need you to subscribe. And please help me grow my channel. Help me get this information out to more people. If you're enjoying the content, if you like it, if you're cool with me, please let me know. Comment. Okay. Anyway, please remember, stay smart, stay safe, stay savvy. Be well, all my friends. Bye, everybody. See you later. Good night.